My friend Ian Callum is here, and Ian is responsible. What did you do to the XJ?
Well, we changed it dramatically, and we had to change it dramatically. XJ really was almost a copy of the original one for about 30 or 40 years, and the original one is a car I really love. But you know, it was right for the time. It was 1968. It was a great car, but it didn't really evolve very quickly after that. Although mechanically it evolved tremendously, but the aesthetics, the looks of the car remained pretty much the same. You know, I remember that car, the drama that car had, 1968, had on me personally, and I want to recapture that drama now for this car. Is essential. Otherwise, I wasn't really interested in doing it. It had to be something very, very special indeed. And so, you know, we just set about, the first thing we did was set about creating fantastic proportion and stance. And the great thing with this car is you see at the corner of your eye, you turn around to look at it because it's got a wonderful stance, it's got a wonderful silhouette. And we worked very hard from the very, very first sketches to the first models to get that silhouette right, as William Lyons would have done himself. And, you know, really create these fantastic, very dramatic proportions, because that's what a Jaguar should have. First thing was, I wanted the front to be very bold, and so we created a grille which was inspired by the XF, which in turn was inspired by the original XJ, so there's a natural lineage there. But the secret is, if you're going to put a face in a car, is to exaggerate it slightly, even to the point of feeling uncomfortable with it. Because once you finish the car, it comes out the other end as a complete object. It has to still be slightly stirring. And this car has to work 2 or 3 years into its life. And so it's important just to exaggerate the characteristics of the face. And that's what we've done here. It's a big, bold grille. When our management saw this grille at the beginning, they said it's much too big. I said, no, we've got to keep it as big as this because it's going to be right on the day. But to offset the grille, we put these very slim lamps in here. And it's the offset and the comparison of the large grille against the small lamps that gives it that very dramatic look. It makes the grille look bigger, and it makes the lamps look much more modern as well. And we could use these, we could do these simple lamps now because we've got the technology in there, the LED lamps, get them down to that size. We couldn't have done that 5 or 6 years ago. So it's a very thrilling aspect of the technology we're using on the car in the front end. The most important thing in any car is what we call the DLO, the daylight opening. It's basically a fancy designer term for the window graphic. And what we did in this car was stretch that graphic as far as we could. We started here, we pulled it as far forward as we could, we pulled it as far back towards the rear car, stretching it as far as this, and naturally beyond the rear wheel. And we slimmed it down slightly, and what this does is actually give the car a visual length. This car is only a few millimetres longer than the old car, yet people look at it and think it's much, much longer, but it's not. It's all to do with the trickery of the graphics of the side glass. So that was the main thing that we worked on at the very beginning, to get the profile and this very slim glass. When we created the back of the car, one of the main lines was this feature here, and stretching this line as far to the rear of the car as possible to give it that dramatic sense of length. So it's line following line, it's a hierarchy of design. This is a dominating line, this follows it. And all it does, it reinforces the shape of the car. And I think it works quite well. It's very unique. And it's slightly controversial, but you know, you can do these things to get a little older.